Math Gad.
Welcome back everyone to today's video in which we're going to be learning about angle pairs formed when parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So basically guys, we're going to be taking a look at most, if not all, the types of angle pairs that are formed when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So we're going to take in a look at how they are called, their characteristics, and why they are called the way they are called. Okay, so let's begin guys. Before we continue with the video, it's very important for us to describe or understand how these pairs of angles are formed. So as you guys know, we must have two parallel lines. So if line A is parallel to line B, that means that it doesn't matter if I stretch them a lot, line A and line B are never ever going to touch, right? Because they are parallel. And they are cut by a transversal line, right? So this transversal line cuts both line A and line B. And there are going to be 8 different angles formed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And there are different characteristics that we're going to be taking a look at in this video. Some characteristics that link or relate two different angles, right? So the first one we're going to be taking a look at is alternate exterior angles, which are congruent angles. That means they have the same value of measurement. They are on opposite sides and they are both external, right? So these two angles are going to be external angles as well as these two. And then these 4 ones are going to be internal angles. So we have 4 internal and 4 external. Also, we have the ones on the left and the ones on the right. So in this case, we have alternate exterior angles, which are congruent on opposite sides and both external, right? So for example, this is a case of alternate exterior angles. So they are going to be congruent. They are on opposite sides, one on the left and one on the right, and they are both external, right? So 1 and 8. Let's say one has a value or a measurement of 56 degrees. That means that 8 also is 56 degrees. Now, pairs 2 and 7 have the same characteristics. So if 2 is 60 degrees, 7 is also going to be 60 degrees. Okay, so these are the characteristics we're going to be understanding for alternate exterior angles. Guys, during the video, make sure that you pause the video if you need to copy anything. And if you have already, let's continue. So after this, we're going to be taking a look at alternate inferior angles, right? Which are again congruent as well. They are on opposite sides, but in this case, they are not external, they are internal. And you can see them because they form a Z, right? So like this or like this. So we're going to referring to either these two angles or these two angles, which you can see here. So either these two angles or these two angles, right? So again, they are going to be congruent and they are going to be on opposite sides, right? So for example, in this case, we have angles 1 and 5. They're going to be congruent, and angles 2 and 4, which are also going to be congruent. So if one is 5 degrees, angle 5 is also going to be 5 degrees. If angle 2 is 120 degrees, then angle 4 is also going to be 120 degrees. Okay? Now let's take a look at corresponding angles, which again are congruent. There are 4 pairs of corresponding angles because they're congruent, they are on the same side, and they are one internal and the other one is external. Okay, so 1 and 5, 2 and 6, then we have 3 and 7, and last but not least, we have 4 and 8, right? So if they give you a value for 1, you automatically get the value for 5. If they give you 3, you know 7. If they give you 2, you know 6. If they give you 4, you know 8, because they are corresponding angles, okay? Now we have consecutive inferior angles, which in this case are not congruent, they are supplementary. Remember that supplementary means that when they are added, the sum is going to give us 180 degrees. And they are on the same side and they are internal. So as you can see, angles 4 and 5, they are on the same side, they are both internal, and they're going to be supplementary. So if angle 4 is going to be equal to 100 degrees, angle 5 is going to be 80 degrees, right? Because 100 plus 80 is going to be 180. And you have to remember that these are supplementary angles, right? And also we have angles 3 and 6, which are also consecutive interior angles. So if 3 is, let's say, 70 degrees, 6 is going to be 110 degrees, because when we add them, the answer is going to give us 180 degrees, which is supplementary, right? And then, to end this video, we're going to see the vertical and supplementary angles, right? Which cannot just be formed in this type situation, but in other types of situations as well. But I'm going to take the opportunity to explain them a little bit further. So vertical angles are angles that are on opposite sides of the vertex, right? So this one and this one, or this one and this one, are vertical angles. So this angle and this angle, or this angle and this angle. So they are on opposite sides. They are called vertical angles, and they are going to be congruent, right? So they have the same measurement, right? We also have supplementary angles. So if we have one straight line, it can be horizontal, it can be vertical, or it can be a diagonal. If we have two consecutive values or two consecutive angles, they are going to be supplementary. So this angle and this angle are going to sum. The sum is going to give us 180 degrees. This one and this one as well, or this one and this one, or this one and this one, and you get the same idea. So if this one is 10 degrees, this one is going to be 170 degrees, right? Because they have to add to a total of 180. So if this one is 30, this one is going to be 150, right? If this one is going to be 70, this one is going to be 110, because these are supplementary angles, right? You have to remember, guys, we saw in this video the things that it need to happen in order for these angles to be formed are that we need to have two parallel lines and a transversal. And that is pretty much it for today, guys. Feel free to pause the video or repeat it if you need to, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Check out these other videos to improve your math skills, and make sure you click that subscribe button to make the community grow. Follow ohmathgad in its social media accounts, drop a like, a comment below, and see you on the next one. Bye!